President Ekufuado expresses grave concern over alleged maltreatment of Ghanaians in Qatar.
Two-day sensitization workshop for chiefs on Galamsey opens in Accra.
Stand by. Hello, good evening and welcome to News Hour Live on GTV and GBC24. My name is Evan Sechampon.
I am Shirley Annan. Now, creating alternative jobs for people who are likely to be affected by the fight against Galamsey is high on the agenda of the government, says Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
He disclosed this at the opening of a two-day sensitization workshop for chiefs on the negative effects of Galamsey. The workshop was organized by the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs in collaboration with the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining on Galamsey.
In recent times, the issue of illegal mining, also called Galamsey, has dominated the discourse of the nation due to its destructive effects on the environment. Apart from the pollution of the environment with chemicals, water bodies including rivers Oti, Pra, and Cobra and Ofin have been on the receiving end. This led to a public outcry and various campaigns led by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and the media to create awareness on the issue and curb the activities of these illegal miners. Although a temporary ban has been put on the operations of these miners, there are reports of illegal mining going on undercover. Considered custodians of the land, it is important to join forces with the chiefs and queen mothers who directly deal with the illegal miners. This is to rope them in as partners in the fight against the menace. The president of the National House of Chiefs, Togbe Afede, said the Traditional Council has decided to take action against chiefs who give out their lands to the Galamsey operators.
As part of the measures to fight Galamsey, the National House of Chiefs has decided that it would give sympathetic hearing to kingmakers who would want to distill a chief who has been proven to be involved in illegal mining or aiding illegal mining. The House has advised chiefs to notify the appropriate authorities, including the House itself, of any areas in their jurisdiction where Galamsey is going on while the ban is still in force, for appropriate action to be taken.
The Minister for the Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, said the country is already being affected by the effects of climate change, so it is quite unfortunate that man-made problems are being added to compound the issue.
You see, right now we think that the problem facing us is power, electricity. No. The president has put in measures to solve these problems. But the next fight is going to be about water. Already, nations are fighting because of water. And we are polluting our surface water. And if we pollute the surface water, with time, the water in the deep will also be polluted, because everything circulates.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, said government recognizes the role of chiefs in solving the problems of the country and has put in place measures to create an alternative livelihood for the Galamsey operators.
So many fertile lands are not in play in this country, and we need to bring them in play with the road development project. The government's flagship approach to dealing with Galamsey is the multilateral mining integrated project. But we are not doing this alone. There are many countries that are standing behind us to do it. We are taking the lead, but we are getting support from other countries who have also recognized that this is not good. What is happening in Ghana, as far as Galamsey is concerned, is not good.
The program attracted chiefs and queen mothers from some communities in the country.
The president joined the forum later in the day. He said he was prepared to put his presidency on the line in a fight against Galamsey. Speaking at a workshop for traditional leaders on illegal mining, the president reminded traditional leaders that Ghana cannot win the battle against the Galamsey menace without their full support.
None more traditional rulers are the trustees of the country's culture, tradition and land. These are people who play a key role in restoration of order and decency within the society. These eminent personalities are in charge of land and therefore give them out for business and developmental purposes. The workshop for the traditional leaders, organized by the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, is to solicit support from them in the fight against Galamsey. President Akufo-Addo followed hot on the heels of his Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, at the workshop to first of all pay respect to them and to remind them of their key role in fighting the menace.
We have also to recognize that difficult as things have been and the looking for employment and stuff, there are things that we just cannot allow to happen. And one of them is the heritage, the inheritance that our fathers and our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers bequeathed to us. And if our river bodies are drying up, our landscape is being desecrated, we here, leaders of our society, leaders of our nation, political leaders, traditional rulers, religious leaders, we have a responsibility to say no. This, we cannot allow it to go on for our own common survival and the survival of those who are to come.
President Akufo-Addo said the activities of illegal mining are jeopardizing the environment and water bodies.
I am prepared to put my presidency on the line on this matter. I've heard it being said that I should be careful. Many of these people voted for me, and if I continue this exercise, perhaps they will not vote for me again. If by the grace of God I'm in a position, my party allows me to go again, and I have the health and everything to go again, that I'll not get it again. And I'll say to myself, well, this is a choice that all of us have to make as human beings. You do what you think is right, or do you do what you think will allow you to get along? I think that you do what you think is right. That is what you're required to do.
The president of the National House of Chiefs, Thogbe Afede, pledged the support of traditional rulers in the fight against Galamsey or illegal mining.
President Akufo-Addo has urged the ambassador of Qatar to Ghana to, as a matter of urgency, press on his government to take immediate steps to stop any form of maltreatment of Ghanaians working in Qatar. President Akufo-Addo made the call when he interacted with 4 incoming ambassadors, including that of the state of Qatar to Ghana, Mr. Mohamed Jaber Al-Kuwari, at the Flagstaff House in Accra.
The first to present her letters of credence was the ambassador of Benin to Ghana, Martinez Francois Dosa. The ambassador pledged to boost economic ties between Ghana and her country.
His Excellency, the President, told me to come here and make sure that relations between Benin and Ghana are reactivated and are reinvigorated. And so I will cooperate with the Honorable Foreign Minister to make sure that relations between our two countries is elevated to a higher pedestal.
Ambassador Marcus Nicholas Paul Dudley of Switzerland was next to present his letters of credence. President Akufo-Addo said more must be done to deepen trade relations between the two countries.
Even though there's a substantial trade between us in terms of gold and cocoa exports to your country, for instance, the time has now come for us to look for an opportunity to diversify that trade. We are launching a very ambitious program for industrial development in Ghana, as well as enhancing the quality and productivity of our agriculture. We're very, very keen to showcase the programs and the plans we have to you and to potential Swiss investors and attract them to come. We're trying to create a business climate in Ghana that will make it possible for people to come and invest here, create employment, create enterprises, and feel secure about their money in Ghana.
Next was the Qatari ambassador Mohamed Jaber Al-Kuwari, who was the first Qatari ambassador to Ghana. Moving the economy of Qatar and Ghana forward is due to the Qatari envoy and use the occasion to touch on the ongoing Gulf diplomatic crisis.
We support anything for negotiation. We support for anything for discussion. If they have allegation, we don't have any objection for discussion. We don't have any objection for to see it with the problem.
President Akufo-Addo said the African Union is looking forward to an amicable solution to the ongoing problems in the Gulf region. The president was unhappy about a report of alleged maltreatment of Ghanaians working in Qatar and called for investigation.
Authorities in your country should try and do something about it so that those complaints can stop. And then we can have a much more fruitful, a much more productive relationship without that being an issue. But it's a matter of considerable concern to us.
Yes.
And I'd like you to convey that to the Emir when you have an opportunity to communicate with. And we're very disturbed by these constant allegations.
Also at the Flagstaff House to present his letters of credence was the Australian ambassador to Ghana, Mr. Vena Senfta, who promised soft loans for Ghana.
An 11-member council has been inaugurated for the Ghana National Fire Service, chaired by the Member of Parliament for Mpraeso, Mr. Seth Ichampong. Swearing in the members, the Minister for the Interior, Mr. Ambrose Derry, urged them to honor an affirmative recruitment requirement that would help recruit more women into the Ghana National Fire Service.
The 11-member council for the Ghana National Fire Service is made up of one representative each from the Ministries of Water Resources, Works and Housing, Justice and Attorney General Department, Roads and Highways, and Employment and Labour Relations. The rest are from the Ministry of the Interior and the Ghana National Fire Service.
That I will at all times well and truly serve the Republic of Ghana.
The Minister for the Interior, Mr. Ambrose Derry, tasked the new council to help the Ghana National Fire Service to open more fire stations and acquire more modern equipment, among others.
The government has given approval to the Ghana National Fire Service, among others, to start the process of recruitment, which would commence very soon. This will go a long way to improve our current ratio of 1 officer to 4,000 persons and move towards the recommended UN ratio of 1 officer to 1,160. Indeed, all agencies will be expected to reserve not less than 40% towards the recruitment of women. Mr. Chairman of the board, I expect you to therefore come out with affirmative recruitment requirements to enable us to meet that.
In response, the chairman of the new council, Mr. Seth Ichampong, pledged to work tirelessly to improve the service.
The built environment culture of our country, Ghana, is changing, and it is high time we added on to our turntables that we use by introducing hydraulic platforms.
With a new council in place, the Ghana National Fire Service is sure to take good decisions that will help it continue delivering its mandate.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has asked the National Procurement Authority to enroll all public sector institutions onto the e-procurement platform by the close of 2017. Dr. Bawumia said this will check all corrupt activities associated with procurement in the public sector.
Procurement malpractices cost Ghana about 3% of the country's GDP annually. Most of these corrupt activities are attributed to human involvement in procurement process. The National Procurement Authority, NPA, says this can be corrected through the introduction of an e-procurement process. The Chief Executive of the National Procurement Authority, Mr. ABJ, said his outfit is putting measures in place to rid the public sector of corruption.
Once you eliminate the human factor, it is the human factor that brings this chronism, favoritism, and stuff. Under the e-procurement platform, there is no human interaction. So you go to the system, it doesn't identify you as an NPP, it doesn't identify you as an NDC, it doesn't identify you as a CPP person. It identifies you as a supplier, contractor or consultant who is qualified under the criteria set out for the engagement on the platform.
The Vice President, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, who paid a surprise visit to e-procurement forum, said government expects all public sector institutions to be enrolled onto the platform.
Corruption in the public sector, at the heart of it is procurement and the lack of transparency in the procurement process, regardless of which institutions you are looking at. And so if you're going to tackle corruption, you have to really make procurement a lot more transparent, and I think this is what we want to do, and I hope that the pilot goes well and we roll this out through the whole country. It will really help us, and I'm very, very happy that you are moving this forward, and I'm sure by the grace of God, by the end of this year, we will see a much widespread use of e-procurement as the way to go, so that everybody will know at what stage the procurement system is just by the click of a button.
Currently, the e-procurement process is being piloted in 6 public institutions in the country. The institutions are Cocoa Board, Tema Metropolitan Assembly, TMA, Ghana Health Service, GHS, Koforidua Technical University, KTU, Feather Roads, and the Volta River Authority, VR.
Boosting production was the rationale behind the 2017 budget. Thus, some taxes were slashed to give relief to some key sectors of the economy, including industries and agriculture. The Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Carlos Ahinkra, indicates that the next budget will focus on how the free zone enclave could offer jobs for the youth.
The main idea for establishing the free zones is to develop Ghana into a hub for manufacturing and processing through value addition for exports. The free zones is the primary agent for industrial development in Ghana. The program focuses on development through exports to encourage investors, both local and foreign, to produce goods and services for export-oriented development. Through this, Ghana can gradually move away from an exporter of raw materials to an exporter of value-added goods and services to enable her compete keenly with other emerging economies to have an entrenched position in the global marketplace. Ghana's Free Zones program is a key component of the country's efforts to increase its capacity and revenues from non-traditional exports. It is also a very successful one, indeed, creating a model which other liberalized African economies have sought to replicate. The board offers a number of incentives to investors, including exemption from payment of direct and indirect duties and levies on all imports for production, exemption from payment of income tax on profits for 10 years, among others. At a conference to discuss the prospects and challenges of the Free Zones concept in the country, the Executive Secretary of the Ghana Free Zones Board, Mr. Michael Befi, said in return for these generous benefits, companies are required to export at least 70% of their total production, and not more than 30% can be sold in Ghana.
What we have realized over the years is that free zones have over-concentrated its efforts on foreign direct investment, which is good for us as a nation. But we also believe that we should be able to help local investors to also grow their financial muscles, so that when these big businesses come and they want to exit or they want to leave, the local investors by then have had the financial muscle to be able to even acquire these big investments. That's the kind of thing we want to achieve.
The scheme also allows for 100% ownership of shares by any investor, foreign investors inclusive, and companies with free zone status have unlimited expatriate quota. There is no minimum capital investment requirement. The Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Carlos Ahinkra, assured investors that the government has made a major commitment to building an economy based on production and not taxation.
It is the intention of this government to create an industrial park in each and every region. So we're looking at creating 10 industrial parks in all the 10 regions. Now these industrial parks are going to be enclaves like you have in the free zone, where factories will be located for industries to come in there and do their production. What we are even looking at the point, we would consider having single product industrial parks, where let's say pharmaceutical manufacturers would occupy the Sunyani Industrial Park, for example.
Free zone companies contribute substantially to the national economy. The board has achieved significant successes since the inception of the free zone program in Ghana. The inflow of foreign firms into the free zones has also enhanced the managerial and technical expertise of Ghanaians, created opportunities for the Ghanaian labor force to foster skills development.
3 teenage boys have drowned in a stream at Okum, a farming community in the Kwapim North district of the Eastern region. GBC24's Abdul Hayy Mumin reports that for hours, community members stood helplessly as the boys drowned. Some of those who could swim avoided the stream, making it impossible for rescue work to take place. The reason being that there is a belief among some of the people in the area that the stream needs human sacrifices at this time of the year.
Imagine walking by the roadside in search of a taxi and you see one pull up only to find that the driver
This is not a scene from a holiday resort. These are members of communities surrounding Okum in the Kwapim North district of the Eastern region. They are in search of the bodies of 3 young men who drowned here while they were having a swim. The young men have been trapped under the water for well over 30 minutes now. According to members of the Okum community, this man is their best swimmer, yet he refused to dive into the stream to help either save the boys or to retrieve their bodies. His fear is that he might also drown.
There's wailing and gnashing of teeth here at Kokum in the Kwapim North district as 3 young boys went into the stream to swim, and unfortunately the 3 of them have drowned. They've been under the water for the last 30 minutes, and those of members of the community who have the capacity to swim are all scared of going in there at the moment to save them, because they claim that there are times that this stream requires human sacrifice.
They came here to wash themselves. In washing themselves, one fell in, the others who were trying to save followed the other. One rushed out and shouted. That was what caught attention, and everyone had to come here. Come and try to see whether they can rescue them. But as you can see, they can't come up as of now, even if they are dead. It will take some time for them to come up.
How many are trapped inside?
3 of them.
3 boys?
Yes.
The general belief here is that the stream has been looking for human sacrifices for a while now. Huh? Okay. John.
During the dairy season, and because of the fact that the stream is made up of mud, especially underneath, when people swim inside, they often get stuck and are unable to come out, and that is what could be happening here. We're still waiting for help to arrive to see if any of the lives of the 3 people who have been trapped under the water here will be saved.
The stream has been badly contaminated, and given its clayey nature, searching for the boys was an impossible task. Abdul Hayy.
Ahead in the news, wife of Asantehene, Lady Julia, on a troubled maternity block of a hospital. Salaries of some of the world's high-earning parliamentarians to be slashed. We go to Kenya for the details. And the latest on the battle for Mosul in Iraq. Details of these and more, stay tuned.
It's Monday. We bring you up to speed with what's been happening in the business space. The Public Procurement Authority is to introduce an electronic government procurement system in 9 months' time. At a forum in Accra, the Chief Executive of the Public Procurement Authority, Mr. Ejenim Boateng, said the introduction of the EGP is to improve efficiency and transparency in delivery of government services.
Public procurement accounts for at least 15% of the world's gross domestic product and even more in African countries. Public procurement is the process by which governments and other publicly funded entities acquire goods, works and services needed to implement public projects. Over the years, this process has been characterized with corruption and fraud. This according to the Chief Executive of the Public Procurement Authority, Mr. Ejenim Boateng, has been due to the human interference in the procurement process. Mr. Ejenim Boateng said the introduction of the electronic government procurement system would ensure efficiency, reduce corruption and guarantee value for money.
As a nation, we have a responsibility to look for means by which we could largely reduce the human element in the entire process. That is only possible under this project, which is this e-government procurement system. It is largely devoid of human contact. Human contact in the sense that the whole procurement process starts with identification of needs. An entity or an institution will have to identify its need or its demand. That identification and its subsequent description will be done electronically.
The company in charge of the e-government system is European Dynamics. The project manager, Angelos Hazichirakos, said the project is currently in a transition phase but would reach an operational phase in 9 months.
It is very difficult to be absolute at this point in time without knowing what will occur in the future, but that's why, as I said, we have the management processes in place to anticipate any challenges that may arise, and it is always a constant dialogue between us and the PPA and the stakeholders to ensure that we don't cut corners and that the system delivers the functionality. And if we have to extend the timeline to make sure that the system operates correctly, that is always done in consultation and in collaboration with the Public Procurement Authority.
The project is funded by the World Bank at a cost of $97 million.
We do banking because Rural Bank has recorded profit of 211,772 Ghana cedis for 2016 as against 2015 figure of 238,226 Ghana cedis. This represents a decrease of 26,454 Ghana cedis. This is about 12.49%. The reduction in profit was attributed to high operating cost, losses on advances and depreciation of the Ghana cedi.
With a vision of working with local rural community to become a first-class rural bank in Ghana, the Rural Bank has worked over the years to deliver innovative banking solutions to its customers. At the 25th Annual General Meeting, the bank recorded a profit after tax of 211,772 cedis in 2016, compared to 238,226 Ghana cedis in 2015. The figure signifies a 12.49%. Profit before tax was 261,473 Ghana cedis in 2016 compared to 270,153 Ghana cedis recorded in 2015. Revenue grew from 5,436,410 Ghana cedis in 2015 to 6,361,947 Ghana cedis. This shows a 7.02% increase. The dividend proposed by the board for the year 2016 was 4 Ghana pesos per share. The board chairman of the Rural Bank, Nana Bram Okain, said the bank is making efforts to improve shareholders' fund.
The bank has consistently been making reasonable profits over the years to improve the shareholders' funds, which overall decreased marginally by 21,280,000 from 2,850,478 to 829,198, representing 0.75%. This marginal decline is as a result of reduction in profitability and the need to meet shareholders' return on investment.
The acting general manager of the Garuro Bank, Mr. Daniel Benjamin, said despite the decrease in profit, shareholders' confidence and that of customers is still high.
This is not going to affect the confidence level of our shareholders, neither is it going to affect the confidence level of our customers. The bank is very strong, and we are working assiduously to be able to increase our profits. We are capable, and we will be coming out of where we are now.
Moving forward, management of the bank said it will position itself to take advantage of the expected growth opportunities to improve on its financial fortunes.
And so the Ghana cedi is still maintaining stability against major trading currencies. Is it trading at cedis 6 pesos against the US dollar on the interbank market? To bring you latest prices of major commodities on the international market.
Welcome to the health segment brought to you by FPAC and Yamvita. Nurses at the Pantan hospitals are on a sit-down strike to drum home their demand for government to stop encroachment on the hospital lands by private developers, which poses risk to the staff of the hospital.
Nurses at the Pantan Psychiatric Hospital have given government up to Wednesday to stop private developers and some individuals from encroaching on lands of the hospital, or they withdraw services to inpatients as well as embark on demonstration. This was after the CEO of the Mental Health Authority, Dr. Kwesi Osei, pleaded with them to rescind their decision after they declared a sit-down strike but attended to only inpatients. They said the situation has gotten out of hand following several appeals to government but to no avail. The hospital is currently not taking in new patients and it's only attending to emergency cases.
This year's general and scientific meeting of the Society of Obstetrics and Gynecologists has taken place at the Kumasi in the Ashanti region. The wife of the Ashanti, Hene, who was a guest speaker at the meeting, disclosed that a new proposal has been submitted to the private construction firm for the completion of the 900-bed maternity block of the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital.
This year's annual general meeting of the Society of Obstetricians and Gynecologists of Ghana was on the theme Improving Maternal and Child Health Through Quality Care in Ghana. It is one of the many professional associations of specialist medical practitioners in the healthcare system of the country. The meeting was to enable members to take stock of their activities and plan for the future. Issues on the current state of maternal and child health care in the country were discussed. The president of the society, Professor Alexander Tewia Odoi, said the rate of maternal mortality increased last year due to various health-related problems. The president of the Society of Obstetricians and Gynecologists of Ghana, Professor Alexander Tewia Odoi, commended the First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Ekufuado, and wife of the Asantehene, Lady Julia Osei-Tutu, for facilitating the process to ensure the 900-bed maternity block at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital is completed.
I'm happy
Our dear mother, Her Royal Highness, is here. And it's not a challenge, but it's a plea that when they complete the short-term project, she, together with Nana, should take on board the main Konfanoche maternity block project.
The wife of the Asantehene, Lady Julia Osei-Tutu, blamed socioeconomic challenges in developing countries such as Ghana for the high rate of maternal and child mortality.
A woman in sub-Saharan Africa has a 1 in 16 chance of dying in pregnancy and childbirth, compared to a 1 in 4,000 risk in a developing country. The largest difference between poor and rich countries of any health indicator. The direct causes of maternal deaths are hemorrhage, infection, obstructed labor, hypertensive disorders in pregnancy, and complications of unsafe abortions are birth-related disabilities that affect many more women.
Lady Julia Osei-Tutu said work on the uncompleted maternity block of the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital will soon start.
And that was the health segment brought to you by FPAC and Yamvita.
Hello, good evening. Let's talk sports. I'm Theophilus Samba, starting off with hockey. Arc Ladies recorded their first win in the 8-week-old Greater Accra Safoda Hockey League. They beat Extinguishers by 2-1.
It was a busy day at the Theodosia Okun Hockey Pitch in Accra when the 8th round of matches in the ongoing Greater Accra Safoda Hockey League took place. 8 matches were honored on the day. The only match in the women's division was between Arc Ladies in the blue jersey and Extinguishers. Arc Ladies, who have been the whipping side in the league so far, put up a show. They matched their experienced opponents and thwarted all their goal-scoring chances. Arc Ladies utilized the opportunities that came their way to record a memorable 2-1 victory. Captain of Arc Ladies promised to maintain their momentum.
Today, the game was really extra and extraordinary, because this is our first game that we've played and we were able to score. It's 2-1 against Fire. And to be frank, our performance has increased, because I was at the back, full back, but when I'm observing the game, I was really impressed. I could see we have really have gotten extra energy, and we are going to play well.
Here are results of other matches played. In the men's division, Reformers 0, Exchequer 7, Trustees 3, Lego Knight 1, GRA 4, Arcmen 0. In the women's division, Arc Ladies 2, Extinguishers 1, Masters, NDK Financiers 1, Multistick 2, Safoda 4, Golden Stakes 1. In the youth division, Real Ambassadors 3, Arc Boys 0, Young Financiers 2, Tamamahian 2. The league continues next weekend at the same venue.
Let's talk football now. The Dade Boys of the Ghana Premier League Accra Great Olympics on Sunday beat defending champions of the Ghana Premier League Wild Stars by 2-0. The host doubled lead in the 51st minute through Kofi scoring one of the best goals of the season. Currently, Olympics remain on the 15th position on the league table, whilst Wild Stars sit on the 12th position. Some highlights of the game played.
They make things wonderfully beautiful. Go showing it up. Kofi with opportunity. Kofi strikes and makes it 2. Beautiful. What a goal from Kofi. Oh, this is absolutely marvelous. Would you believe this slalom run from this man? Oh, that is a Messi-like goal, Kofi Bakwe. You can watch this over and over again and you would never get tired. Went round this man, Yet again, another one. And finally, blasting the ball behind the goalkeeper.
Football, let's talk boxing now, where a special Sunday Amateur Boxing Championship has started in Accra. It is to unearth the new generation of world beaters for the country.
What a fight! Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
The forecourt of the Transport Emporium in Accra is the venue for the special Sunday Amateur Boxing Championship. The championship, which has support from the Trust Emporium, ETC Postcard Promotions, Mr. Bobby Yeboah, Mr. Theodore Ohene, and Mr. Napoleon Tego, is aimed at giving opportunities for the up-and-coming boxers to hone their skills and get further training by experts in the Olympic boxing team, the Black Bombers. These boxers were from the various boxing gymnasiums in Accra. The event attracted the leadership of the Ghana Boxing Authority, including its president, Mr. Peter Zwenis. The night witnessed a contest between Emmanuel Mawili from the Charles Cote Boxing Gym and Moses Ajay from the Akotoku Gym. At the end, boxers that excited the crowd received tokens from the president of the Ghana Boxing Authority and other dignitaries on the high table. David Tego from the Will Power Gym faced Gideon Norte from Seaview Gym, Joseph Mensah from Akotoku Gym, and William Lai from Charles Cote Boxing Gym. They dazzled the fans with their ring craft. Faisal Mohammed and Hakim Loko from the Bronx Gym also displayed the stuff they were made of. The night was climaxed with a clash between Gabriel Lashi and James Amate, all from the Kotoku Academy. The organizers promised to do more in the coming weeks.
In the case of boxing, we are growing fresh champions. We have some champions already, and then there was a lull, a period when there were no champions. And so the best thing for us to do is to catch the juvenile, groom them, and take them forward. What you see here is the initiative of Charles, not me. Charles started this at Wato on a very small scale, but he didn't have any rings, he didn't have any gloves. Between myself, Charles, and the Akotoku Academy, we have 2 world champions coming up in 5 years, and the plan is being kept. We're working on it.
Wami ni nano na amefiam ni sola agashi nonu wajionshin ebada Ghana world champion.
The Sunday Special Amateur Boxing Competition was sponsored by Events Unlimited, the Boxing Coaches Association, Unique FM, and GTV Sports Plus.
That's all for sports.
Hello, time now for the art segment brought to you by Cowbell. My name is Valerie Danso. Visual art is gradually becoming popular as most artists portray their skills and imagination of their social or political environments through paintings. The ongoing orderly, disorderly art exhibitions by some students of the KNUST brings to bear work that reflects the environment.
The works of Henry Ofori explores the idea of taking selfies. This is a common practice associated with social media. These are pictures put together with the use of Photoshop. Edward Baxter's paintings open up social, political and religious issues in Ghana. Through the technique of collage, he incorporates materials into his paintings to create historically charged pictures.
Broke out your back, girl, shake buttons. Show them you're bad when you hit the spot. Somebody ring the alarm, mama call the cops,
Sandra Edwejewa's circular forms of plywood cutouts come in various sizes. Her vivid palettes are derived from clothes, bags, shoes and bathroom towels. They are imbued with oil pastels as stripes and curves. Kwame Asante Jari's installations are made with empty processed food cans that dangles from the roof to the ground. This is to critique the excesses of consumerism. The exhibition is open till September 1.
We'll now take some news tidbits.
Ridomil Gold Plus. Spraying technique. Spray your cocoa pods with Ridomil Gold Plus to protect your harvest from black pod. To get a good harvest, you should use Ridomil Gold Plus every 4 weeks from the start of the rainy season until September. The best time to spray Ridomil Gold Plus is early in the morning before 11 a.m. Later in the day, the change in wind direction may blow the Ridomil Gold Plus away from the pods and pollute the person spraying. Spray the Ridomil Gold Plus onto the cocoa pods. Spray each pod from the top of the tree to the bottom of the tree. When you have sprayed all the pods on the tree, move on to the next tree until you have sprayed all the trees on your farm. Remember to use 150-gram sachet of Ridomil Gold Plus per each tank full of water and 6 50-gram sachet of Ridomil Gold Plus for every acre of your cocoa farm.
Keep watching the weather reports and I'll see you same time right here only on GTV.
And that's all in the bulletin, but before we go, a recap of our top stories. President Akufo-Addo has urged the ambassador of Qatar to Ghana to, as a matter of urgency, press on his government to take immediate steps to stop any form of maltreatment of Ghanaians working in Qatar. President Akufo-Addo made the call when he interacted with 4 incoming ambassadors to Ghana.
A workshop on the negative effects of galamsey is underway in Accra. The Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said the government will open alternative jobs for people likely to be affected by the fight against galamsey. Thank you for watching News Hours live on GBC24 and GTV, bringing news tonight at 10 p.m. Please make a date.
Good evening.